Hey guys, and welcome back to Taku Katsu. I am your main host, Patrick. I am the little telepath for you, and I am joined by the assassin, Vicky.
I am ready to kill some people and, worry about the bloodstains on the dress.
And we are joined by the spy who is unfortunately has to deal with us, which is very true in real life, Cori.
Waku waku.
That's my line. No.
I've been waiting to say waku waku on a recording for like 3 weeks. I got it.
All right, everyone. Waku waku, everybody.
Waku waku.
Catchphrase of 2022.
Man. Waku
waku. Today's episode is Spy X Family. And we watched the first episode. This show, we watched the first episode of an anime, new or an old. But we'll see that today we may have broken those rules, so we might do a little bit more in detailed review of the show since the lady assassin is not introduced in the first episode, which is unfortunate. But episode 2, you get the whole cast. It's about Twilight, who is Lloyd, who is the boss man. He's the hidden assassin. And he has to recruit. A girl who's Anya to be his fake daughter, so that he can enroll her to this private school because there might be doing some shady things around this area. But also, he also has to recruit a wife, and she is the assassin. So it's about a family who has to. They benefit from pretending to be a family, but they all have their own secrets to hide. And then you get the funny comedic bits while good action at the same time, actually. So we can start with our first topic. Let's go with Vicky. What do we like about the show?
Oh man, it's almost easier to talk about what I don't like, which again is not a lot. I like that it has the action and also some heartwarming moments, but the action is like, it draws you in, gets you like amped up to watch it. And then there's like little heartwarming moments that's like, oh, that's kind of sweet. The animation style is great. I wouldn't say it's like amazing, but it's pretty great. I love it. It's just, I could go on and on about everything I like, including Anya's little walk walk.
So excited.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Cori?
I like everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint.
So let's start with why this is not Bunny Drop, and if it ever becomes Bunny Drop, I will kill everyone.
No, Cori,
He's talking about it.
You can't compare it. This isn't a Bunny Drop episode show.
That would be horrible.
Because what I like about shows where people are families is that I like family dynamics. And as a male who does not pose to be a psychiatrist, but something relevant, it is nice to see this extremely dysfunctional family become functional in like an hour. Like real-time hour for watching. Like they just get it together, and it's like, this is great. You all belong to each other. You don't even know it yet. It's just great. It's great. The characterization is really strong. It's really good. The comedy is it is not obvious at first blush that it's a comedy, and then it's like, oh, this is definitely a comedy. Like you just, because it's like, oh, spy stuff. No comedy unless it's Get Smart. Get Smart is a great old TV show with spies and comedy. Watch it anyway. It's good, and then you get the silliness of like they live in Berlin, but not
the
Berlin.
naming conventions. Yeah,
I saw that.
You know, they clearly have like a East Germany, West Germany vibe going, with like they're gonna go to war, and it's kind of vaguely communist versus not communist, but different from the Vampire Cosmonaut.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this world doesn't go so far to be like, this is not Russia versus America. It's just like, look, this is the setting. This is what you need to know. We use Berlin. You didn't need to do that even. You could have just had no name and I would have been like, whatever. But they did, and it's like, okay, I got it. It's probably supposed to be like 1970s-ish. Maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later. Era of Cold War type politics. And that's all I needed is like, bam, moving on. There's just enough to get you a setting and then move on. Anya's a pretty cute little character. She's cute enough that I remember her name, which I'm very bad at. Yor is in the second episode, and she has all of the qualities. Awesome. All of the qualities. Patrick, name the qualities.
All right,
name
long
the qualities,
hair,
Patrick. Yep.
Young hair, definitely older than 18. Tall.
Yes.
Tall.
Yes.
Yes. Black hair.
Yep.
Let's see.
Her personality type.
She has
is somewhere between
shy
Hinata
but very aggressive.
And I will murder you.
Yes.
And I'm like, I can live with this.
Ooh, yeah. She might actually kill you. That's I forgot. That's quality. She might actually kill you.
She's super duper sweet, and she will murder your ass.
Yes.
Like,
I forgot.
I'm all about somebody who can be strong without like having to be strong. I'm down.
Well, even more than that, she will protect you if she's like she for no reason. She'll just protect you.
Ooh, can I just?
Oh, that one.
Let me hold off because I want to talk about episode 2 because that's where she's in episode 2, and that's all where like I was sold at the end of episode 1 after the like credits where he's like, what are you doing? He wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
But
are you trying to kill me?
Yeah.
It was so funny.
So good. It's just freaking out. But then like episode 2 was like, yep, this is a great show. This is a great show. I love this show. What else? I thought the music is not like my favorite music, but it was good. It was appropriate. It like gets you ready it's for an upbeat kind of comedy about a spy family. Like it's great. Who knows if the whole show will like take a turn at some point, because obviously the manga is where it is, and the manga has been around for a couple of years. So I really hope that the manga ends so I can watch the end of the anime. It's good. Oh, it's so good. It's got a really strong start. It's got enough action to get you interested. It's got enough comedy just to be fun. It's colorful. It's involved. The characters are clear. It's not a show where they're trying to hide anything from you. It's a show where they're showing you what the characters don't know about each other. And that is so fun.
And it's very cleverly done.
Yeah. Because we haven't said it yet, but Anya is a telepath. And so she knows everything that's going on, but she's too young to understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. So she has all the answers, but she doesn't understand what they are. So she couldn't tell you and explain it in a way that was clear to you if you thought unless you knew, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she knows some things, but she knows it from a child's perspective.
Yeah.
Like spy movies and spy shows.
Yeah. Which is, oh my God, that is the greatest way for her to be like totally invested. She's like, I fucking love, okay, she didn't swear, but she's like, I love spies. Spies are so cool. And then she's like, she's a spy? Oh, I want him to be my daddy. Like, so Anya gets adopted and that's how they meet. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. I think the best part for Anya is that she even though she's a telepath, like she still is a child. And like they didn't go with like the super intelligent genius, who uses it for the benefit. She's just clearly a kid, and I think that's the best like part of her is that she's an honest portrayal of what a kid would do. Like, and all of her emotions as well. So
best part of all the many best parts, because the whole show is just 100% best parts. But the best part of the best parts is the part where she's like, he has a spy radio. Oh, I'm gonna break in there. Because he's like literally thinking to himself, okay, I can't let her get in my spy equipment. The passcode is ABCD. And she's like, oh, really? And goes in there, cracks it open, starts playing with it, and then transmits across the radio to people looking for him. This is Twilight. Come find me.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is with Anya is when he's like, I don't even think she's 6, and she's like, I'm 6. And he's like, she's pretty short, and she's like, I'm
like on her toes.
Stand on her toes.
It's like, so for the thing with her is like, I don't know if she is even 6. So it's like, or like, everything that she says in the show or doesn't show, I'm like, is she reacting to the character? Like, there's a moment where she's like, they're getting her clothes right to get dressed, like she's getting her measurements, and then she gets taken away, and she's like, I'm being kidnapped by traffickers, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, what is that lady thinking? Because she could read her thoughts and be like, is the lady thinking some weird stuff with her? I'm like, it sounds really innocent, but from her perspective, I'm like, what is she really hearing? Because that's the weird part. I'm like, I can't even read her in the show, even though we get her perspective as well.
So what do you like, Patrick?
Oh man, everything's so good.
It's hard.
It's difficult. I think everyone will say this is like might be probably the best. It's gonna win awards again. Same thing with best girl, but with Biscuit Doll for that show, this show might be like, oh man. But yeah, this show is so good. I went out to go buy the manga, and I was reading the manga, and I was like comparing it to the anime, and the anime definitely adds a lot more flavor and like extra tidbits to it, and even just extra dialogues too as well. And it makes it a little bit more fleshed out and more just exciting to see, what they add to it.
Hey, guess what? Guess what?
Did you buy it as well?
I bought it too.
Yes, yeah. Vicky,
I bought that.
Check your mail soon. Check your mail soon. You're gonna get one too. We all get it. You get a book.
I know. I want the series.
Yeah. It's so good.
I absorbed it. Like listeners of our podcast, we watched the first episode, and then we watched the second, and then immediately watched the third when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of us. Spoiler alerts. We love it. We're watching it.
Also. Patrick and I watched it in English and Japanese.
Yes.
Because we watched it multiple times.
It was that good.
That's how good it was. We watched it in Japanese, then we watched it in English. Or vice versa.
I haven't gotten to my second watch through, but I'll do English. While I'm working, I'll just put it in the background.
Yeah, the English dubs are also pretty. I like the English dubs as well. They're pretty good. They're pretty.
I gotta say though, her saying "so excited" doesn't hit the same way as "waku waku."
No,
like "waku waku," it just hits different. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this show has a lot for. I think again, the 3 characters, like the trio of them. Oh man, they just complement each other. I think they're just good characters. Like even if they're both weren't. Like if the show just only solely on one of them, it will be interesting. But the trio of that dynamic is just works so well. And this is the spy anime that we've dreamed of, because we were talking about like why isn't there a good assassin anime or good spy anime? I think this is the one that's kind of going to like leave its mark. It's like this is the spy anime.
Yeah.
And I think I think the show also has a little bit for everyone. Like it's that action, it's heartwarming, it's got the family. Everyone is like, oh, there's just so much. You got the guy, the lady, and you got the child. Like it's all demographics.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
So let's do something different, since we clearly are all watching it and we clearly don't have much to say about disliking, which is their entire format ruined by a wonderful show. So let's pick. There's 3 of us. There's 3 characters. Let's pick one character and let's like kind of just dive into it each one of us. So I will go last and I'll take whoever's left. So who wants who?
Oh, like we did at the top. I'll take Yor.
Okay.
She's wonderful.
Patrick?
Shall I go first?
Patrick,
yeah.
Who you gonna
take? I think Cori would want Lord, right?
I don't care. Look, I would probably talk about Yor just because she has all of these qualities I enjoy in on a fake female character. But all of them are awesome to talk about. for various reasons, and it just makes the show so good. Let me just say one more thing. Get Smart. It's a fucking good show. And now that I'm thinking about it more, it is a really good show that is actually, it's not the same, but it shares enough broad similarities. And Get Smart is from like the 70s? It's old. It's
like
old.
60s, 70s.
And then they actually made a remake with Andy Dick, but that didn't do well. And there's movies and whatever. But Get Smart, I used to watch it on like Nick at Night when I was a kid in like the late 90s. God, Get Smart's so good. And Don Adams, same voice for Inspector Gadget for all you old people who like cartoons as a child. Yeah. Yep. All right.
We could just talk about each of the characters.
So I'll tell. Well, like I just want somebody to kind of like dive deep into the character, and then we'll talk some more and just rant on for another hour.
I do like Twilight. I like the adults more than the child.
So they're all so good. So Vicky, you can pick your or Twilight, because since Patrick seems like he's going for Anya.
Well, we all could just like talk about character and then just each of us give an opinion on them on each characters.
Well, okay. My idea was like we would like explain the character, then talk, then explain the character, talk, and just go one by one.
Right.
So Vicky, go.
Yeah, I'll start with Twilight. He is a spy, like the best spy in this country, if not the world. A man of 100 faces. You actually meet him while he's in the middle of a mission, as this dude trying to get like pictures of a diplomat with a toupee. Like, despite the weirdness of that whole scenario, he's very like professional about it. He's like a man that's like, this is the mission, I'm going to get it done. I'm the only one that I need to like depend on because I'm awesome. And then he suddenly gets this mission where he has to depend on other people because he can't just go it alone. He needs to have a wife and a kid and pose as a family. And it was like right after he just said that like he eschewed family and relationships just so he can be like the man that protects the free world. And just like he's very selfless in that way, where he's like, I don't need any of that stuff. That's not for me. I'm a mission man. And then suddenly he has to be this person that I won't spoil it if he begins to care for the others, but it's just an interesting, character to see, like, he's so serious and so self-reliant that now that he has to, like, work with others, to see his dynamic with that.
Right.
So yeah, I like Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight. He's like the perfect like secret agent, right? He's like he is your 007 in all those fantasy movies. He's the guy who's the badass who does everything. But his tragic backstory, which we haven't got into yet, or we don't know yet, is there's a flashback with him crying, and so he's became an agent so that no other kids can cry. I guess that's very
so
cliche.
Sad.
But we don't know his tragic backstory, so that will come into later. So we're into it. It's very it's pretty simple motivation, but it is strong for who he is.
That is a good one for me. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna eat that up.
It is gonna take you. That hits Cori's main point. Like, yep.
Oh, it hits it so hard. Look. Trunks, damn it.
Oh, Trunks.
Oh my god.
Same shit. That hits me.
Wow.
I love the small stuff that as a spy that we see him do. And I hope they keep it up. Like, he's got his informant that he like talks to. He's got like ciphers where like he goes by and then just a random person says like wah wah or bow wow or whatever, and he's like, oh, cipher C. No.
Ribbit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like what?
T, no F. Like,
yes.
I love ciphers, y'all.
It's so fun. It just adds a little extra oomph to it that didn't have to be in there, and it's just great.
It's such good characterization of like a spy. Of course you have informants, and of course you have like ciphers, and it was just like this in-depth look at like this secret society of spy network stuff. Plus, I don't know how old he is, but he is older than like
I'm
the
gonna go
general
with 30.
teens.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with 30.
I would say 30ish, yeah.
Like a
So
solid 30.
so he's a good
Old
adult
enough
age.
not to look old, but not young enough to be like fresh out of whatever spy school or something.
I imagine he's a younger version of that old assassin guy that was just kicking ass.
Back in the Isekai one.
Yeah.
Man. I there's so many moments. I fucking love the whole, like, in episode 2, where Yor is just like, so he meets, in episode 2, he meets Yor, and we'll talk about Yor in a little bit, but she, like, sneaks up on him, and he's like, the fuck? And so, eventually, you know, Anya does her thing, blah, 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 and then she's like, I need you to be my fake boyfriend. He's like, oh, I need you to be my fake wife. And they're like, cool, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Meet me at this time. After that all happens, that's a Yor conversation. After all that happens, he has to run from his patients.
Patience.
And he's bleeding. He shows up to the party bleeding.
Straight up shows up to the party bleeding, says the wrong thing. It's great. But he's running, and he had already thought, like, okay, we'll start with fake thing, and then I'll get her to be a long-term marriage later. Like, that's his, like, plan. And then, like, they're running from his patients, which aren't patients. And she's like, what if we get married? And he's like, what? And crap falls. And he's like, okay, yeah. And he had grabbed one of the stolen jewels that he had, couldn't find out where it was. So he grabs a grenade, takes off the pin, throws the grenade, and puts the ring on her finger, and is like, will you marry me? And I'm like, that's amazing. And then explosions in the background.
Yeah.
That shit was great.
That's a good,
I love that
good
moment.
ending.
That was a good moment.
Oh, okay. And then, just to keep on the spoil train, episode 3, he doesn't have one. He has 2 different changes of clothes? Or was it 3? I can't remember. Too many.
Wait, you're concerned about his change of clothes?
I just think that was hilarious that he was so prepared. He had 3 or 2, I can't remember, changes of clothes, including a top hat on one of them.
Whereas Yor literally only has 2 outfits. The red one and the black dress.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, she has the house one. The house, like the little. I actually don't know. If that's...
the work outfit.
Yeah.
And then a normal outfit, and then like her black dress for murdering people as a sexy assassin.
Yeah, I like Twilight.
Twilight and
Lloyd Forger.
Yeah,
Forger.
They could not spell his name any worse in the world. Lloyd. Lloyd. Like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Are you saying you hate his fake name?
But his last name is also Forger, as in like forgery.
Forger, yeah.
Like
a little on the nose.
What kind of name is this?
Yeah. It brought me right back to Inception days where it was like, Mr. Forger. But,
my goodness.
But just that spelling of Lloyd.
My name is Synonymous Faker. Or not synonymous, whatever. Anyway. Patrick.
So let's go with Anya. She's in this orphanage, like this random orphanage. Lloyd has to be exact same spot, exact same moments. Walks in and meets Anya. Lloyd comes in and tries to expect her, I guess, and she immediately knows what to do. She responds to him, telling her her age. Lloyd's like, I need someone who is 6 years old. She's like, I'm 6. All right. But she doesn't look 6. She should be taller. And then she immediately stands up. So at that moment, I was like, she had to be a telepath. When you first watch it, you're like, she's onto something. But the thing is that we don't really know about her too much. We don't know that she's an experiment that's gained the ability to be a telepath. Her code name is 007 as well, which is, again, pretty spot on. But I assume that she just escaped randomly and ended up in that orphanage. But she also was traveling around through like different houses as well in her previous attempts, I guess. Yeah, Anya is, again, for Anya, she's just, her characterization as she loves all the spy stuff, and that's her favorite show, and so she's totally down when she meets Lloyd. Even if she sees like the bad guy, she's captured and the bad guy kills one of his henchmen, she's like, oh my goodness, a real bad guy. But this guy just got shot in the head and died. I'm like, oh, she is like not even phased at all.
Not at all.
But I think that's kind of like, the really reason I like her is that she's just a kid still, and she's like living in this. She's watching. She's exactly like, it's like one of my animes. She's living in an anime world in her real life situation, and it's just like she's just innocent, and she gets all the expressions. Her faces are amazing. All of her expressions are amazing. But yeah, that's the Anya.
And I there's the scene that I thought of is when he's walking with her, and he's like, it's really inconvenient to, carry groceries in case there's an enemy. And she's like, enemy? And then she just runs off. And he's like, what are you doing? Hiding.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's adorable. It's endearing. It's great.
Like if a kid could read someone's mind and they were thinking that, they would probably do the exact same thing.
She did the same thing when Yor was thinking about how she reminded her of her little brother, and she broke his ribs. And she was like, I don't want to hold your head anymore. It's so sad. It's so funny.
She's there, her face expression, her giant big eyes, like every time, just the what?
Oh, well, I wonder how old she really is.
I'm thinking 4.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
Cute kid though.
Because she also talks more like a 4-year-old than like a 6-year-old. There's a lack of sentence structure, so it's more of a 1 or 2 words. Peanuts, like she just likes peanuts. Like, I like peanuts. Like, all right, you like peanuts, like, But at the same time, like, she can read people's minds, so she can kind of. She's probably more intelligent than most 5-year-olds. But she's not as intelligent as maybe a 6-year-old. So she's like, she kind of barely squeezes in there because she can read minds. So she gets all this information. It's like if she read a lot of books, which, based on her dislike of studying and her being in a experiment, she's had to do something. So she may just be more intelligent for her age. Plus she's got, a cheat skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did pass that test, whether or not like she was trying to read the minds of the other students, and like even they were having struggles with the test.
Oh yeah.
So she may have possibly passed. Like like how did you pass that test with the abilities? Like you didn't cheat. Like maybe she actually did it through it without cheating. So that could be a little bit nothing.
Memorized the answers, which is a tough skill. Like
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's right up there with like knowing the subject matter. To just memorize the right answer. Well, Cori, how about Yor?
So you get Yor in the second episode, so you get relatively less of this. Yor comes off as the sweetness and lightness, and basically her entire character is, I just want my brother to be okay. Like, that's her whole character. I just want my brother to be okay. How can I help my brother? And so she's working at a government place, the city government place, and she is kind of like she looks like a stewardess from like the 70s, like her uniform, and she's got a sexual harassing boss, and all she wants is to keep her job and reflect well on her brother, which is nice, but also like, she's not nearly as independent as the other 3 female characters who she works with, who are more gossipy and kind of, concerned with their appearance and all this other stuff. Especially one of them is extremely like mean girl level, to the point where she's like trying to set her up to fail, but like in like small ways. And then, so that one invites Yor to a party and asks Yor to invite her partner when they all assume she has no partner, and Yor's 27, and then they talk about how somebody got arrested because they thought they were a spy because they were unmarried at 27, and we all know what the Japanese say about Christmas cake. So she's 27, and she's like, "Oh, do I stand out? I don't want to stand out." And then she talks to her brother, and her brother's like super excited and loves his sister. And I heard somewhere else someone describe the brother as like I think a sister con or something like that. Like he just really loves his sister. I don't know if that's accurate, but
we'll see in the future.
He loves his sister, but he's about to right. But okay. Anyway, so basically, she gets a call. She talks to her brother. She says she has a boyfriend. His brother's like, "Oh, then I'll have my friend who's apparently engaged or connected to that friend that girl from work who's a jerk. When you're at a party, he'll tell me if he's good, and I'll take that promotion if he's good because I'm worried about you." So like healthy relationship, a little bit too clingy for both of them, but whatever. So she goes and she's like, "I have to figure out how to do this." She gets another call, and it's like her handler. She's like, "Got somebody to kill," and her whole demeanor's like murder time. I'm like, "Oh, yeah. There it is."
Yeah.
The murder eyes were good.
And
murder
eyes. Yeah, murder eyes. So she's about to go assassinate some people, and she just like goes up the stairs and like, "Excuse me, ma'am, can't be here." She's like, "Oh, well, I heard there was a traitorous pig," and just kills all the bodyguards. And then she's like, "Oh, I got blood in my dress. I cut it. I needed to get it fixed. This sucks." So she goes to do it, and that's where she meets Lloyd, and she's like an assassin, so she can hide her presence or whatever nonsense that the world of ninjas have created. And that's how they meet and all that. And her character is just that. She's two sides. One of them is like, "Stay out of trouble." The other one's like, "I will kill you all." But in the most like thoughtful way.
Mm-hmm.
Like she thinks, she's like, "You know what? If I killed them all, this would solve my problems. But that's not going to help me." Like, I'm like, you know what? I can live with that consideration. You're all right. You're all right.
You see, the best part is that everyone thinks that sometimes, but you just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Your is the voice of reason, guys.
She just has the skills to see it through.
So I'm going to just talk about scenes unless somebody's going to throw something out there.
I think my favorite Yor moment is when she's at the party by herself and things are going wrong, and she's just like, "I could kill all the adults here and that'd be fine." And then she'd be like, "It's too much trouble." And but yeah, that she was waiting for Lloyd and he never showed up, so she went by herself. That was just sad. And,
yeah. So what made that so cool? Because there was a combination, again, good show. It really knows how to throw it all together.
Mm-hmm.
It was a combination of really cool stuff. So she waited, he didn't show up. She went to the party, he didn't show up. She was getting bullied. And she's like, "All right, I'm going to gracefully leave because I've done my duty and whatever." And then he pops in the door, blood on his face, on his shirt, just a little bit on his shirt. And he's like, "Sorry I'm late. I'm yours husband." It's like, "You're supposed to be my boyfriend." Whoops! Screwed up the mission. And then the girl comes up with she's like, "Oh, I got this hot piping gratin," and basically throws at it. And yours is like, boom, 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 kicks it, catches it. And Lloyd's like, "Good job, but I don't think it's proper etiquette to use your feet." And it's like,
yeah, like they both just go with it as if that's just a normal thing.
So good. And then they try to shame her even more, and Lloyd is just like, she's such a wonderful person. She tries to help people.
Yeah,
and,
because he knows.
Man,
his background is like he does the exact same thing.
He is good. He is so good, just smooth. So I appreciate that.
You don't know if it's a genuine like feeling that he had, that it was like, "Oh, she did what she had to like take care of her brother." Like, was that genuine, or was he just playing a part?
Yeah, exactly.
Look, it doesn't matter because we all know at the end they are going to be a family, and it is going to be amazing.
and they get married.
It's going to take forever, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm down.
That's the thing I don't like.
Yeah.
How long it'll take for everyone to be in the know about everyone.
I mean, yes, but as long as it's not Detective Conan level, where you just like, why is it taking so long?
They still don't know. It's like 1,000 episodes in. They're still going through it. Like,
if the amount of episodes were days, which they literally aren't, because that doesn't make sense, but the amount of episodes of Detective Conan were days, he'd still be like 7 years older than he is now. Like, it makes
that's true.
There's so many episodes.
That and
so much time passes between any episode. He would be so much older that he'd look like himself. Anyway,
don't. That's just like the Ash theory as well. He's still in the coma. He doesn't age.
And I don't care about Pokemon. Detective Conan is a really cool detective cartoon that I have stopped watching. Like, oh my god, it's been like 15 years. Like, so long ago.
And he's still a child.
He's still a child! Like, I'm okay with him, like, never figuring it out, but just, he's gonna be an adult. He's gonna go from being 7 to 17 again. And now he can just be himself. I'm the best Detective Conan. Anyway, back to this better show. And I do like Detective Conan.
No, I do. Me too.
I'm never going to watch all those episodes, like you said. One Piece, right? But yeah, this show might take a long time. It might not. It might actually be like, 2 seasons in. But I have no idea how much manga there is. Because I assume most of the show is going to take part in the school.
Right.
But I don't know. But I'm excited to see. I hope that there's always more episodes, because I feel like this is going to be one of those where they do 12 and then they pause for a year, 12, and they pause for a year, 12, and they pause for it's going to drag out. I'm just going to buy all the manga and be done.
I just need to know when everyone knows about each other. That's it.
So you're saying is you're going to buy all the manga.
You can buy all the manga and then finish it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That too.
We're going to have a reading party, just like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's going to be so good that you're going to watch the anime again. Just watch it. Because you're going to just like...
I do think this is one of those that is like, I'm going to buy it as soon as I can. Unlike Idaten, because I can't.
Well, there are other reasons, too.
So mad. Real quick, I don't know if I've said this, because I've thought about it 1,000 times, but episode 11 of Idaten is literally where the manga stops.
Wait, does it continue afterwards?
You neither watched it, so
no.
What I'm talking about.
So you're saying that after the anime of Idaten, it continues in the manga?
No, I'm saying the writer of Idaten stopped.
So there's not like final ending. That's just
like heartbreakingly. I'm like, wait, I can't get more. Oh my god!
Well, someone will make up more.
Wait a minute. Like, there's a finale, or like there's a cliffhanger.
Both.
That does okay. No, that's not. You can't say that.
It is the finale. It is over, and it is a cliffhanger.
At 11 episodes. That's
because weird. Where they stop in the anime is where it stops in the original. Right, I think that I'm a little confused. I think it was a webcomic first, and that webcomic was turned into a manga, but I forget the way it was. But yeah, the person who did Peach Boy Riverside also did Idaten. The person who drew Interspecies Reviewers drew for Idaten. So it's a mishmash of horny writing and nonsense.
Yeah, yes, that is true.
And I still love it. It is awesome. But yours cool because she's definitely like a secret badass who's super cool, like super nice. She's like, the only thing I'm good is cleaning up. Yeah, because you're a murderer.
Yeah.
You're really good at cleaning. That's a skill.
And her code name is Thorn Princess. Like, that's just a cool...
Yeah.
And she's got those little knives, like,
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
It's so good. It's just... I think the big strong point is, like, in most animes, we have the one character, and this is their secret. And, like... But there's 3 characters, they all have a secret, and it's playing like they can't know each other's secret. And so you're just kind of like seeing how they react to that. Like for Yor, whenever there's like something that looks like a knife, I think she's gonna be infatuated with it. Like they will go to the museum and there's like the guillotine. She's like, "Oh my goodness, a guillotine!" And then she's at the dinner table, like holding her thumb to the blade of a knife, of like a metal knife. I'm as Lloyd as a character, I'm gonna be like, hopefully he's like, why is Yor like that, or why is Anya? How does she know exactly everything? So I mean, again, there's a lot of manga still to be, to develop the characters, but as these 3 episodes, it plays like a good template of like how they are going to interact. Episode 3 is just them being a family. That's it. It's just them
coming together,
interacting. Yeah, they just go into the theaters, going to have dinner, going to the park. It's just great.
What I love is how they convince each other that they're not who they think they are. Like Yor is like, oh, I'm really good at self-defense.
Yeah.
and Lloyd is like, they're my patients, so you hit them.
Concussive therapy.
I want to go back to that. Like Yor's like, yeah, I'm a really good at self-defense, my best friend. And then Lloyd laughs. He's like, you kicked them pretty far. She's like, yeah, I did.
That was hilarious.
Like, they're all like just playing into their, like, they're just going with the flow and like, yeah, it's nonchalant. Like, yeah, okay.
They are the world's best natural improv artists.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
They yes and.
I was gonna say they yes and.
Oh, just the scene where Lloyd meets Yor and Anya's in both of their heads, and she's like,
"Oh, I love that." That's
she's like, scene. "Oh, woe is me! I don't have a mama. I want a like." Oh my god! So cute.
So yours dialogue in that is something to the effect of, "Oh," or so basically she walks in and he's like barely looking at her. Like, I watched the episode at least twice. I think I watched it 3 times to be fair. And he barely like, he glances at her once, like, how the hell did she get behind me? I must be slipping. And then he looks one more time really quickly, thinks to himself, and she's like, excuse me, I noticed you staring at me. And he's like,
he had to turn around to see her.
He turns around, looks at her, and he's like, it's because you're so beautiful. And I'm like, first off, good answer. Just good answer. It's because you're so beautiful. And then, like, he has his thoughts like, holy crap, blah, blah, blah. And then she turns around and goes full 180. Like, does that mean you have a pleasing appearance? Like, I'm like, oh, she is thirsty for you right now.
Yeah.
Because she really wants a fake boyfriend. And she's like, opportunity strikes. And then she sees the girl and she's like, oh, he's a wife. I've heard of stories of wives trying to kill the people that their husbands are cheating on. Though I could probably kill her first. But I don't want to be the one who... And she's like going through this whole dialogue. And then... and then they both are like, I guess I won't ask him. I guess I won't ask her. And then Anya comes up and is like, oh, no, I can't make this has to work. And then she's like, oh, woe is me. I wish I had a mommy. And it's like, this is great.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
Well, it almost plays like they all have one brain cell that they share, and usually Lloyd is the one holding it.
Yeah.
Because Yor is really great at the 2 things, the work she does at the government place and killing people.
Both things. The work she does and the work she does.
Yep, so the work she does. And other than that, like, she's not with it, kind of. And then there's Anya, who's a child. And it's like...
That's her gimmick. She's just a child.
Yeah. So, poor Lloyd, he has to, like, be the adult that's like, all right, we gotta get this mission in order.
It's kind of like he's, like, the straight man, and there's 2, like, Yor and Anya are, like, the opposite of that. They're just, like, how
chaos.
The chaos, like, how can I make do my job with these 2 people that I don't know are assassins and telepaths, and he just thinks like they're just normal people. So he's like his opinion of them is like, okay, I gotta really make this work. I really gotta make this work somehow.
And I love how Anya will be like, Daddy's a liar.
Yeah, he's a big
Daddy's
liar.
A bad liar.
But he's cool.
Yeah,
he's cool.
Kakui.
Also, I really love the opening.
Yeah, I like
or
the
maybe
opening
it's the
and
end-
the
yeah, it's
ending.
the opening.
Both of them are pretty good, actually. The ending is,
I mean, I'm not as in love with it, but the more I like the show, the more I'm just like, I'm down with this opening anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well,
It's not
just
bad
the
at
way
all.
it's kind of like you get this childish, like, oh, it's them being a family, and it's like bright
Yep.
colors and everything, and then the
sets
switch
you up.
to like their real work. Oh, the opening. I love the show, and usually like the openings are like whatever, but I keep watching the opening just to see if there's like parts I missed because it's just like, I love that serious vibe.
I cannot wait until Mother's Basement does something about the show. Whatever he does, I'm going to be super excited.
Analyzing the opening, analyzing the ending.
Yeah,
every frame.
Like, whatever. I don't get whatever he does. I'm just going to be so excited because he'll tell me something I didn't notice. And I'll be like, "This is great." And then the Yor believes Lloyd way too easily. Like, what? And he's just like, "Wait, is she a genius or is she stupid?" Like,
they're all way too gullible. Like they're all just
oh man,
too nonchalant with accepting what the others say.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's why.
But I think even though they all have their secrets with each other, their intentions are still like, I think that's what you're rooting for, their intentions still.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel like, even if they all knew each other's secrets, like it'd still be, I think they all probably be down for it. But the fact is that they can't for their identity.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is more likely? And I know the answer is probably obvious, but I'm going to throw it out there. Do you think it's more likely that they never actually find out, and then they just live a happily ever after, or they find out and then Lloyd has to fight Yor before they resolve it, right? Kind of Marvel good guy versus good guy level, or crazy twist ending and it gets real dark and someone gets killed.
The safe answer is just they live a happy family. I mean, that's just everyone
without finding out.
Yeah,
without finding out.
Yeah. I think they're gonna find out though. They have to find out
because if they find out, they'd probably fight. There's probably "oh, you're a spy, I have to kill you" type thing.
I don't think the fight will come from them finding out about each other. I think it'll come from them getting a mission to in the other one or
that's
interact.
Basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's basically the same thing.
Kind of, but they won't know who, Yor might get a mission to be you gotta take out Twilight, but she won't know that she's married to Twilight. And same with Lloyd, find a Thorn princess. Doesn't know what's going on.
That's basically how every spy movie has ever gone where the two people are together.
Like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mr. Smith?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
why I'm
Mr.
saying.
Smith.
Yeah.
I never actually watched it, but yes.
What? It's good.
Yeah, I'll trust you on that one. I'm probably never going to find it and watch it. But if I watch it, I'll let you know if I liked it.
Okay.
I did watch Cinema Sins on it, so I got the basics.
But you see the difference. The difference is that they got Anya.
Yep.
So she's going to be the media. If I'm sure it'll be cliche. And they will have a rivalry or someone will make those missions. But again, the main mission for Lori is to infiltrate the private school, find that mystery of that. So, but
because logically, what would happen is they would end his mission successfully, and either they would continue, or the war would end, or the Cold War, or whatever it is, would end, and then they wouldn't have to. There's so many different, simple, obvious ways, but I'm kind of I don't care. The how of it is less important. The end result is less important than how they get there. Because I'm going to enjoy the crap out of how they do it. As long as there's progress and as long as it's not Detective Conan, I am 1,000% ready for this show to keep going.
I don't think they will, any of them will die because this seems too much of a happy-go-lucky ending. But that would definitely be whoa, didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Really didn't see that coming. Like,
Oh man,
injured, mortally injured for a while, probably. Like, I could see that. Like, then they have to retire, and that
it would be the end of Naruto.
Yeah, someone loses an arm.
Sasuke and is like, we're hurt.
Someone loses an arm.
We'll just put some bandages on it and never take them off. You're fine.
Yeah. I think it'll be like the end of the mission will happen, but they'll stay a family because they'll figure out that Anya's psychic and Esper. And so they'll like stay a family to protect her. Like, oh, I want that so bad.
Yeah. That's the easy ending. It's the easy ending, and I am for it because this is a show about feeling good about a family figuring it out. I am 100% on board.
Yeah, the ending of the show is like it's what you expected, and that's the payoff. Like, and that is fine. Like, it's not like one of those shows like you're hoping for a twist ending or anything crazy like that. It's like you kind of see it, but that's what you're in for. Like, if you watch a show about robots, you want the robots to fight. Like,
unlike Paranoia Agent, where nobody knows what.
No one knows what. Okay, that show, no one knows what it's about. But hey, they have some great ideas.
Sure. Paranoia Agent is the epitome of you just watch it for the epiphany.
Yeah, but then eventually it's all gonna be error set from your brain. So
oh Lord, here we go.
Like, you won't even remember what happened. So
here we go.
Pretty much.
Oh God! Thank you, Vicky, for increasing that and giving them that to you.
Yeah. Okay. I really don't like that they don't know the secrets about each other. Like, it drives me crazy that they don't.
But that's as Patrick would say, that's the spice.
That's the spice.
It is the spice, but I don't like spicy food.
But you like episode 2 of that show that we watched one time.
That's not spice. That is also spice. No, Cori. That's the Spice Channel. We're just looking for spice, not the channel.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
There you go.
I was talking about chilies. You were talking about Chile.
But are there any things that you guys don't like about the show?
Like I said, I just don't want it to take forever. But I also am afraid it will be a 12 episodes once a year thing, because that's to its benefit. That is what anime has been doing. It stopped doing filler, and it's just started being like, you're gonna have to wait a year, or in the case of One Punch Man, you're gonna have to wait 10 years. But yeah,
I feel like this show is like, I think from what I saw, there's already like not season 2, but like part 2 coming out already. So I'm assuming they already have plans for like the next season and whatnot. Because based off of its results, within this year, they'll probably be like, all right, this is a show they're going to continue to work on. But I actually don't know if the manga actually ended or not. I assume that it did. And if that's the case, then I don't see them not wanting to keep making the show, because it's a great success from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a critical darling. If anybody doesn't like it, they just don't like fun and love and sweetness and light.
Mm-hmm. I just like that it's got the action, and then I don't mind the heartwarming part so much.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot of action. It is. It's a little bit for everyone. It's a little bit for everyone.
It's not the most crazy thing in the world. It's not but it is Shonen Jump title. So
if Kimi ni Tsudoke had like fights in it, or like it was secret student assassins, I would love it. But no, it was just too heartwarming. This is just the right amount. This is
essentially I don't think either of you have either read or watched this, but this is like the same level, but maybe a little less like fighting as Assassination Classroom.
Oh, I love Assassination Classroom.
Okay, so did you watch it or read it?
I've watched it. I did not finish it because I did not want the end to come.
Man, I don't know how much they animated, but I read that sucker for like 2 years. So good.
I know what happens.
Oh yeah,
like at the end, and I it's too much feeling, so I can't watch it.
It's okay. Go watch some yaoi. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I would be destroyed if I watched the end of Assassination Classroom.
Your feelings are difficult. I totally agree with that.
But yeah, Assassination Classroom, Patrick.
I only seen the first 3 episodes. I saw the live action movie. I
There's
was
a
interested.
live-action
This live action
There's a live
movie, and
action,
it didn't
yeah.
explain. It didn't explain like anything at all for me. I was like, I have probably to watch the anime to actually get into it, but I still don't know the whole the character that's teacher. He's obviously like the main thing. I don't know his deal still. I don't know the deal.
I would recommend the manga, but definitely if you don't want to read, watch the anime. It's probably good. I think I watched one episode of the anime and I was like, I'll get back to it. But I had already read the manga, so I wasn't in a hurry. But I enjoyed it. But yeah. Good times all around. Anything else we want to throw in before we switch gears?
I just like the show.
Just watch it. It's
the
so
stuff.
good. It's
Yep.
it's like, man, it's 9 out of 10. I want to
Is
say
this-
10 out of 10, but it might
Is
be
this
9.5.
the best show we've seen so far this year? In the last 5 months that we have recorded.
The best show, or like
That we've
for
seen
the
this
season
year.
this
That we've
year?
seen this year.
I'd say so. I mean, I think
Yeah.
top 3 from all the animes we've seen so far. This is episode 52, so it's been
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say so far this season for sure. Best
Yeah, I think so.
of the season.
So, yeah, because we watched Komi-san, Fantasy Shoujo, which I have watched a couple more episodes of. Still funny. That's about it.
I need to watch it because
Sasaki and Miyano.
I still need
My
to watch more of
darling.
that for Vicky.
I am going to watch all of that because just that it has that insight into being a Fujoshi Fudanshi, and then I love it.
I am into being more cultured, is what I'm trying to say.
More culture.
Yeah, I need to be more cultured, you know.
I
I
think
need to
I'm
learn
top
their
hat.
perspective.
the most
You get your top
cultured
hat for that.
here.
I think Vicky is. Obviously.
And then, of course, we watched Kuroshi Ai, and that was bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I definitely think this is my favorite show I've seen so far of the last season or two. Yeah. Ooh, it's going to be hard to beat this for the rest of the year, especially new stuff. Chainsaw Man, that's supposed to come out. And then we got a bunch of returning ofs, Bleach, Spice and Wolf, what is it called? Overlord, so on. You know, Shield Hero, it started off rough. Those first 3 episodes took a minute, but by episode 3, I was like, alright, I'm alright with the show again. But it was rough. It was like they rushed it or something. That being said, I know we got a couple ideas of what we want to watch the rest of the season until the end of this season, which has just started.
Yeah, Cori, you're next week. What are we watching?
I will get to that because I'm not going to pick from this season. I'm picking something old.
Oh,
But any more ideas of what you two are thinking about for the rest of the next couple weeks?
I don't know.
I want to watch Tomodachi Game.
I heard bad things.
It's another
yeah.
another death game. It's just a death game. I mean,
I heard bad things.
you hear bad things about it? Oh,
I heard it wasn't that good. And I've watched a good amount of these mediocre death games, so I'm
sure.
it's probably another mediocre death game. But yeah, totally. Vicky?
I don't know yet.
Okay. I still have a couple options on here that I mentioned before, so maybe I'll remind you. Osama King, that was a Patrick one. Link Click, that was me. Way of the House Husband, that was you. Tomodachi Game. For some reason, I wrote down Shin Ikitosen. I don't know why we would do that. but
no,
I think
yeah. We wanted. I think you wanted to watch. I think I remember you clearly saying that because it's coming back, right? It's like
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I care. I don't think I actually care.
Yeah.
Then Tiger and Bunny 2 is coming out. So for those who want My Hero Academia, but not My Hero Academia.
Adults, My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia, if a Japanese person tried to make it like it was made in America, that's the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
I think. All right, so I had the joy, the benefit to go to rightstuff.com. That's with one F. Go there, buy their things. They're not a sponsor. I don't care. And I had already committed to what I wanted to watch next week. And I have mentioned this on our podcast many times. It is an oldie but a goodie. And I have a quote that I want to read for both of you. And Vicky, I think you'll enjoy this quote especially. You know what? I even took a picture of it so I could say it properly. This is from Zane, because I told him what we were going to probably watch. So, he told me that he liked it, but at first he didn't. So here's what he said. Well, early on, he was fantasizing about fucking his students, but turned out he's good people, not going to do it, and he wants to help, even if it means breaking and entering, destruction of property, assault, and slight waterboarding torture. He's there to help.
Now I know what you're talking about.
And so and I'm like, oh man, I forgot about that. And he said, yeah, first 16 minutes are rough.
The first
And I said Ricky was going to roast me for that, so I'm waiting for it. Yeah. He said, it was great after that. He was on board with them after that 16 minutes, though. So do you know what show I'm talking about, Vicky?
Yeah. Great Teacher Onizuka.
Great Teacher Onizuka, man. Have you watched it all?
I haven't watched all of it. Or maybe I have. But it was a long time ago.
So I was able to get Great Teacher Onizuka on DVD Blu-ray, and I'm like, yep, buying it today. Bam. So I'm waiting for that to show up. But I do already have access to it. It is on Crunchyroll. So, Patrick, is this going to be your first GTO adventure?
No, I've actually seen the animated, and I've also watched tidbits of the live-action one. But this is, like Vicky said, long time ago, because this show is quite an
1999. It is 23 years old.
Yes. That's crazy. Hold up.
Yes.
1990.
Zane had very positive things to say about it, aside from the first 16 minutes. Because it is a 45-minute first episode. It's like a long first episode. Probably because they didn't want you to think that dude was going to start molesting children. So, yeah. And something I didn't know before was the actual anime is like in between the rest of the manga. So there's like a pre-GTO manga, and then there's a post-GTO manga called Slightly Different Things. In English, it's not as hard to distinguish, but in Japanese, you gotta know what you're looking for. Because he's like a teenager in a gang, but then he's like a 22-year-old and he's a teacher, and then it's like, I don't know what happens after that, but that's the post-GTO manga. But they only made an anime about GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka. And I'll tell you this, he's a pretty great teacher, despite being a little bit gross at the beginning.
He gets
So that's what we're watching next week.
There is like this anime that's similar to like this, but it's like a girl teacher instead, and she's also part of like Yakuza.
Please. What? Oh, that's Fruits Basket. No, she's not a teacher though.
No. I forget what it's called, but I remember watching Great Teacher Onizuka, then like coming across this anime where.
Well, it's definitely not Onegai Teacher.
Nope. That is
definitely not. Please, teacher. It's not Onegai Sensei. It's definitely not Onegai Twins.
Jeez. I watched Onegai Sensei, and that was it is back in the day.
It wasn't good, and I watched it, and then I watched Twins, and it was worse.
Yep.
It was bad.
Oh man, I'll have to find that one out, because I like it's also the same premise where the girl is a Yakuza leader and she's is a teacher, and it's very similar premise to GTO, but just a lady version of it.
Yeah. So, and then Zane wants us to watch Erased. So,
Erased.
Have you seen Erased? I've heard a lot about it, but I have never watched it.
I want to say I did, but I don't remember the plot enough to say I did.
I know there's a boy and a girl.
I mean, yeah, the cover.
What? A boy and a girl in an anime?
In the snow.
Wow. That is a whole new
All
genre.
I know is there's a twist, and I didn't spoil myself yet. So I don't know. People tell me, like, just watch it. There's a twist. I'm like, there's a live action version of it as well. I think that was on Netflix, maybe?
Yeah, I am 99% sure I watched Erased.
You watched Erased. Have you seen the anime version?
99%, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely watched it. I think it was good, but I also am not, like, trying to watch it again. Not really. Sorry, Zane.
That could also be on the chopping block sometimes for Zane.
I mean, Zane wants to jump back on the podcast once in a while and make me watch a race. I guess he can do that. If Vicky can make me watch what she's made me watch, he can make me watch the race.
As long as he shows up.
Oh man, Utena and Yuri on Ice. Vicky, you're starting
Yuri
to
on Ice
now.
is. I can't wait for the second season.
Oh, that's right. What are they going to do? Kiss?
Maybe.
On ice?
Hey, that's just bad marketing if they don't. That's a promise.
Babies on ice. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be their adopted children just skating. And they're going to call, I don't know, both of them Yuri again. I don't know. Oh.
Yuri again.
Yuri again on ice.
Yuri on ice again. More ice.
Yuri on more ice.
And that's just when they're on the drug called ice.
Oh, this show changed dramatically. The Japanese
and after they win, and then this is their downfall. Like they reach the top and they're just spiraling from the championship.
I would watch that.
Of course you would watch. I would watch that too. I would watch that than them getting to the point.
We gotta make that a manga. We gotta write it.
Yuri on Ice.
Man, you do understand that the Japanese are hardcore about drugs and such, right? That would not do well. They would censor that worse than Interstices reviewers, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
hentai is fine, but drugs.
Yes,
that's where they call it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what Cori's saying.
It is literally what I'm saying.
That is exactly what I'm supporting. Wait a minute.
Again, let me just say. Remember, there is a show, and it is called Cardcaptor Sakura, and there is a group of characters in this show who are in love, and one of those is a teacher, and the other one is the child who is a student of a teacher, and that child is like in kindergarten. And that is a popular frickin' manga. Jeez Louise.
Bunny Drop 2.0.
Man.
Oh jeez.
They're not related,
that one's so
it's fine.
No.
I suppose, yeah.
I mean, it is. No. I take it back. It's definitely not fine for like 1,000 reasons. Stop it.
Take it back.
Well,
oh, man.
Maybe I'll find something spicy for my week.
Did you not do that enough? Have you not spiced it up enough?
Not this season.
What? What else is spicy out there that you're trying to give us now?
Sasaki to Meyano was very tame.
Yeah, that was the tamest.
That's like a 1. That's a 1.
The tamest is Bakuman. Yeah, exactly. You don't even know what it is. That's how tame it is.
I think you remember it. But yeah, Spy X Family. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yes. All right. Lead us out, Patrick. Tell them what they need to do to continue to listen and have some recurrent viewer counts on our Podbean.
Come on to our YouTube. What, Vicky? You want?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna pass the ball to Vicky.
We're just dribbling past. You can check us out on YouTube, which is Taku Katsu Podcast. You can check us out on Twitter, which is Taku Katsu. You can hear us on Podbean at Otaku Katsu Pod.
I got an update from Zane. He specifically just said to me, started watching Spy X Family. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
That's right.
Unbiased reviews.
You know what? I'm going to say we're going to leave the church as the Spy X Family Church. Everyone come join the club. Like, you know when someone says, like, you should watch Naruto, like, you should watch this show. If someone tells you that, you watch this show. Be a believer.
Way better. Believe it.
Believe it. You can even watch it in English and it's not so bad.
Cool. Yeah, leave us comments, email us, tweet us, all those good things. You can even call us if you want it.
Ooh.
If you had someone's number. Particularly one.
Who you gonna call your number?
No, one listener can call us, and that's Zane.
Yes, there you go. Acceptable. Zane, you hear that, Zane?
Look, if you are a good enough listener, because we literally have like 2 listeners max, we'll talk to you. You will get all the responses. You just have to keep saying stuff and we'll notice. I mean, we'll just backlog it. And if you keep going, we will constantly talk to you specifically. And if 10 of you do that, then we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. But until then, we are fine talking into the empty void and also saying,
Look, like we are not at the Notice Me Senpai yet stage.
No, that'll take at least another.
That's
week.
A dream. That is a dream. Well,
we will. In fact, we'll always notice them.
Oh, we will for sure.
Always. Yep.
Oh, I see. He was saying that we are not so cool and amazing that there's a bunch of them being like, "Notice me."
Yeah,
to us.
but
if
we had a bunch of kohais being like, "Notice me, senpai," we would notice each and every one of you.
Yes, unless there's 1,000 of you, then it might be a little difficult because I do not remember names. I'm not that good at it.
I'll remember you, kohais.
And that's why she's a social media person.
Well, see, Vicky in particular wants male kohais, of a certain...
Look,
Fudanchi?
If you're 2 dudes,
that's good too. I wouldn't mind that.
If you're 2 dudes and you like each other and you want to have a conversation with Vicky about it, she will watch.
We'll be in the shadows.
We're gonna create 3 different groups of the Taku Katsu clan.
Oh my goodness!
The Cori clan, the Patrick clan, and the Vicky clan.
Oh my god! I need to call HR. I'm scared.
The 3 clans lived in peace until the Vicky clan attacked.
Of course, Vicky's gonna attack.
Of course. She's gonna throw like some kind of sexual object, maybe dildos or something. Just
No,
and I'll just have a bunch of people with tiny little shield heroes, just like no, and then Passion's will be like eating popcorn, like this is fun.
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna be the mediator. I'm gonna try to be my best to be Anya. Just like, all right.
Waku waku.
Sibling rivalry. I love this. All right, guys. Well,
all right. Great Teacher Onizuka, also called GTO, episode 1 next week.
Thank you guys for listening to Taku Katsu, where we reviewed Spy X Family. Watch the show. It's great. Best show of the season, probably. If there's a season 2, best show of that season. Season 3, best show of that other season in the future. We have been joined by your co-host, Cori, who is your spy.
Please do not take any advice from Lloyd Forger. He is not a psychiatrist. He is not a therapist. Thank you.
But Cori is. There you go.
I'm one of those. Which one? Are you psychic enough to find out?
As your friend, I still don't know.
And then we have, of course, Vicky, our wonderful modern double.
I would love to have those stiletto knives just to, spin in my hands.
You see, I think Vicky might actually be an assassin. She's always late. She's never... I think that's about it. She's always late.
Just always late. Vicky, are you happy to always be at least one of the female characters in our anime? Is that what we're doing now?
No,
is that acceptable to you?
Just this one.
Just this one? Okay. And the last one.
The last one.
Okay. Got it.
We'll see if there's a string of
Probably
episodes.
not. Probably not. But let's see. We'll see what happens because I can't think of one character in GTO you're going to want to be.
Yeah.
The coolest one.
The coolest.
Oh, that'd be Great Teacher Onizuka then.
And Patrick.
Yes, I am your telepath. Which is a lie because I don't know anything what anyone's thinking about. And if I did, that power would be too strong. I would start getting nosebleeds on the daily.
Waku waku.
For the wrong reasons.
Waku waku.
Waku waku, guys. New catchphrase for 2022. Waku waku.
Waku waku.
Waku waku.
Bye, guys.
Bye.